hear me out. Maybe the Packers don't need a wide receiver. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Podcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. Two-time Sunday Night Football appearance, Grossi. And this evening, we are going to break down the Packers' victory over the Saints 37-30. Before we get to that, I want to do a big shout and thank you to some brand new patrons and YouTube members. First, starting on the patreon.com/Tom Grossi comedy front, we have Tom Grossi's brother, Ham Grossi. Oh my God, Ham, how are you? Then we have Nicholas Drage, and finally, Lieutenant Amazil upping their membership. A big shout and thank you to all the patrons. It is very much appreciated. Then head over to the YouTube members. First, we got Best Wishes Fishes 0. We got Bills are winning the Super Bowl. We have Stephen Bowman. We have Brian and Brandon Banks. We have Matt Mardeeks. We have Tommy Gross. I feel like that's an insult. We have Lucas Grand. We have Levi Bentley. We have John Gosnell. We have Dennis. We got Vagabond. We have Lauren Crow. We have Ben Tomlinson. We have Brian Diaz. We have Mike Shute. We have Sarita Ekveria. And we have Lori Decatur. A big shout and thank you to all of you. Now, heading into this game, there was a little bit of pressure. The Vikings, well, they're 0-3, so there was no pressure coming from them. The Lions, they won their first game. Good for them. But the Bears, benching Mitch Trubisky and deciding to put in Nick Foles, have gone 3-0 on the season. And so to maintain supremacy in the North, the Packers needed to get a win. And a win they most certainly did get. Rodgers had a great game going 21 for 32 for 283 yards and 3 touchdowns. Then the story coming into this game was the fact that the Saints' run defense was basically unstoppable, and Jones was able to get something going 16 for 69 for 1 touchdown. But honestly, the best player of the game was Allen Lizard frackin' Lazard, having 6 receptions for 146 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, obviously, Devontae Adams did not play this evening, and so there was a vacuum that was left in our wide receiver core, and oh boy, did Allen Lazard fit that bill. Then you had Big Bob Tonyan, who did really, really well, 5 for 50 for 1 touchdown. And even after that, you had Jay Sternberger coming in clutch, and then, of course, the big dog having an amazing touchdown grab. Looking over at our defense, we had Kenny Clark, who was out. Kirksey wound up getting hurt throughout the game, did not return in the second half, and so Ty Summers was left to fill in an inside linebacker and did decently well, had 6 tackles. On top of that, you had Kingsley Keke, who had 2 sacks, who did really great on the defensive line. Zadarius Smith had that 1 forced fumble and had a fumble recovery, which was huge on Taysom Hill. And over on the Saints side, you had Drew Brees going 29 for 36 for 288 yards and 3 touchdowns. On top of that, Murray and Kamara both rushed for 58 yards, but Kamara having 13 receptions for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. It basically looked like Drew Brees was just checking it off every 5 seconds and just doing these short intermediate routes. And, you know, with Michael Thomas being absent, they really didn't have that deep threat. Emmanuel Sanders got involved early in the game, had that big touchdown, but then after that, kind of went pretty quiet. And so, honestly, I'm surprised that the Saints didn't stick with the running game because with Latavius Murray and with Kamara, it seemed to be working pretty well. But thankfully, we got them out of that rhythm and we were able to actually win the game. And so where it stands, obviously the Packers are not only 3-0, but we've scored 122 points in the past 3 games, which is a franchise record. On top of that, we have not turned over the ball a single time, and we didn't even blow a timeout this game, so high fives all around. So now where this leaves us, we are playing the Falcons next Monday night after they have just blown back-to-back games, and so that should be an interesting matchup with the Packers. But right now, the Packers are one of the best teams in the NFC. Obviously, we have the Seahawks who are just wrecking, beat the Cowboys this week, and I feel like it's going to be a pretty close race between these two teams. The NFC North seems to be a weaker team. I don't really believe in the Bears just yet, but right now, we're not even going to talk about them. We're going to talk about the Green Bay Packers and the fact that they played pretty damn well against a very, very good team, and they came out on top. So this is the best start that Packers fans could have possibly hoped for, Aaron Rodgers firing on all cylinders, Aaron Jones having a great game, and just like last year when Davante Adams was out, we spread the ball around and we were still successful even without Davante Adams. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Are you happy with the Packers' performance tonight? Do you think that they can improve in some areas? Let me know which ones you think they are. And overall, pretty good night. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. You could always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy. All social media see down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout and thank you to all the patrons over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy. If you missed my Sunday Night Football return, it is on the channel. You can see it. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.